The Icons of Real Estate Podcast. Are you ready to learn the proven money-making secrets from top-producing Icon agents? Ready to skyrocket your business? This podcast is for you. Tune in every week and find out how to implement proven strategies to 10 times your business. From $3 million to $30 million in just 12 months. Brought to you by the Masters in Real Estate Marketing, Arter SEO.
Welcome to the Icons of Real Estate. I'm Tim Calloway. We have a very special guest for you today from the great state of Arizona, specifically in the Scottsdale, Paradise Valley area. We have Maximilian De Melo, and he is with America One with the Max and Patrick Group. How are you, Maximilian?
I'm doing good, Tim. Thank you so much for having me. Good morning.
Yeah. Thanks so much for being on. We appreciate it. I hope you had a nice holiday, nice, safe holiday, of course. So I'm going to go ahead and start with the same question I ask everybody, so don't feel too special, but I got to know. I mean, were you like the 5-year-old tugging on your mom and dad's leg saying, hey, I want to be a realtor when I get older? Or did you like fall, like most of us, you just fell into it?
Well, I literally not only fell into it, but I just got fresh off the boat here. We've been in the US for about 5 years. We're born and raised in Germany, so it's actually even worse.
So tell me the story. I mean, you just, you come to the States, I guess. Is that what it is? You come to the States and say, hey, how can I make a lot of money? Hey, real estate's great, or what's the story?
Yeah, the story is we got here actually for a vacation. We came to check out Scottsdale and kind of went to LA and Vegas, which, as you know, is all pretty close.
Yeah.
Grew up golfing. My best friend and business partner, Patrick, he's a former golf professional. So it was a combo of a golf vacation and checking out the US together. And then we stumbled into real estate because we purchased a little condo here, a townhouse right in the heart of Scottsdale that we were actually renting in the same community, because realizing what we were paying for rent and checking out the prices, we're like, okay, it doesn't take a genius and or real estate expert to understand that those numbers work. So
yeah,
out of that situation, we got intrigued, and the rest is kind of history.
Yeah, that's fantastic. So do you make Scottsdale and Northern Scottsdale, is that your primary target, primary sphere? Or?
So our primary market by now, as we kind of organically graduated into higher price points, is Paradise Valley, which is kind of the Beverly Hills of Arizona. Sure. And then right adjacent to it, and that's where our office building is Scottsdale. So Scottsdale and Paradise Valley is most of our main focus for our business, for the resale side, as well as for the development investment side, which, that's our biggest component of our business.
Yeah. So tell me about, I talked to a lot of what I would call retail realtors across Arizona, but you guys are on the development side as well. Talk to me a little bit about your development side.
Yeah, I guess to just kind of finish the circle there on the story, when we purchased the property back then, it was 4 or 5 years ago. First year, we worked obviously with real estate agents. We didn't know anyone out here. We didn't have a real estate license, had no knowledge whatsoever. We just had $50,000 each and a very thorough due diligence. And after I think we looked at least 100 places. We got more educated as we went, met with several agents, and then felt comfortable pulling the trigger. And then we realized as we bought the first property that obviously at some point, if you start doing more than one deal and you realize that this might be worth pulling the plug in Germany, burning the boats and leaving everything behind, you want to make sure that over time, the value proposition that you offer not only to clients, but also to investors is as big as possible, right? Because this is one of the most competitive markets in the US. We have 90,000 real estate agents.
Yeah.
In the beginning, we weren't agents ourselves, but we realized, hey, if we get a license, we're going to strengthen our development and investment side significantly, because we can leverage the brokerage community to source deals as well as to sell deals, build good relationships. And obviously, there's a financial benefit to that too, right? If you can roll in 3% on the front end to a deal, and on the back end, technically, you don't have to charge it to yourself because you own the property as a partner investor or developer. So that's how everything kind of gradually came together. And the way it's set up right now is America One Luxury Real Estate is a luxury boutique brokerage, kind of a one-stop shop. We do over about $250 million a year. We have around 20 agents. We have property management in-house, and we do buying and selling on that part. And then the development company, which is MP Design and Development, does pretty much everything from A to Z on the development side. We have in-house design, we do the plans. And then the third complementary business to that is we own a construction company as well, where we have currently, I think, about 13 projects going. Primary price point retail is about $5-7 million in average.
Nice. So when are you going to get into the finance part of it? Isn't that next?
Well, we have very good relationships with local banks here, as well as financial institutions, mortgage companies. We work, I think, 50% of our investors that work with us are from back home, right? Because you obviously got to leverage the assets or resources that you have. And if you're not from here, the only thing that you have is, German work ethic and strong network back home. So that has helped us a lot. And I think by now, 5 years into this, we understand how to structure deals, how to use creative financing methods or creative funding methods to put deals together where you can be your own debt facility, right? So it's not like we offer our money to outside partners, right? Be a hard money lender, for example. We don't do that, but we do leverage our own financial means, whether that's our money and or investors or private lenders' money, to come up with hybrid models and structured deals to where a lot of times we don't really need the lender, right? I have no desire to have my own mortgage company. I have a lot of close friends and respect the colleagues that make our success happen as part of our ecosystem. And I think we're already vertically integrated enough, to say the least. Yeah,
don't need to have your hand in every cookie jar, right?
Correct.
Do what you do best and stick to that.
Agreed.
Sure. I'm sure you'd be successful at it if you did, though. So,
yeah, we started a second market now. I'm licensed now in Florida. We have our first construction project going on there. My business partner's in-law family, so Patrick's in-law family, they all have been in the business for, I'd say, sometime around a decade, depending on which business you look at, from level 5 drywall contractor to staging, interior design, door system, lighting system. So we have a lot of the trades and resources available to do what we do here out there. And that's why in Florida, we focus 100% on the development side as well as on the resale side. So we learned, I wouldn't say our lesson, but it's good to have the setup here, but there to stay lean and focus on the deals themselves. The resources that we have is everything that we need.
So what, if you don't mind me asking, since I am here in Florida and part of the real estate scene, what projects do you have going on here in Florida?
So we started a project that we acquired back in mid-August last year, and it's in Fort Lauderdale. It's a waterfront property. We're doing a major remodel there. That is not a flip. At least it's not intended to be a flip. But as always, everything's for sale. To finish this project up by the summer, and that's going to be pretty much our headquarters for Florida whenever we're there. And while we're not there, it's going to be rented out on Airbnb. We'll have we're 58 feet of waterfront. We have a pool, spa. I mean, all bells and whistles that you need for outdoor entertainment. And I mean, you being in Florida, Fort Lauderdale is like
I was there yesterday.
Palm Beach.
Yeah, I mean, I live in West Palm Beach, but I spent the day in Fort Lauderdale and right off Los Hoyos. Is it near Los Hoyos?
Yes, it's right by Las Olas and Rio Vista Isles.
Yeah, Rio Vista Isles, sure.
It's on the Tarpon River.
Yep, I know exactly where you're talking about. I probably saw it yesterday. You never know.
It's not looking good right now. So if you remember, I
probably looked at it and went, "What's that piece of what?"
that does. But if you come back in a couple of months, you'll be like, "What happened here?"
I've been around long enough to know. But like you probably, I look at things like that and I go, "Hey, there's an opportunity." I wonder if that's left alone. But no, that's great. I like to see other people out here and doing great things. Lots of great things going on. Arizona is a great place, though. I mean, it really is. regretted. I was excited to move to Florida. We just did it because we were at that age, empty nesters. But you know, Arizona is a great place. I love talking to people in real estate in Arizona, because most of the country has no idea how wonderful that Arizona is and can be, even if you're not in the $7 million luxury level. You could be in the 500 to $1 million level, and you're still going to be in some great areas.
100%, which my personal home is about to be done. That's kind of in that ballpark, under like $2 million price point. And
Right.
it's not only, I think, the climate that makes it very attractive, taking out the 3 summer months that are obviously very toasty here. Economically, Phoenix, or the greater Phoenix metro area, has developed significantly over the last couple of years, right? We're one of the fastest growing counties in the US, Maricopa County. I think we have 90,000 people that moved here last year. I mean, we have from tech to universities. I mean, you talk about an economy that is set up very well. You talk about net migration. You talk about business-friendly environment. We just actually 2 days ago on the 1st, Arizona officially now has a flat tax rate for the state tax for 2.5%, which
Is low.
which is low, and you have to consider that property taxes are low as well, right? And I know that there's no state tax in Florida, but I saw my property tax bill the other day, and I was obviously aware that this is going to be higher. So I think there's a lot of things that we have going for us here that kind of proved and performed over the last years that this is a very desirable place. Now we're going in selling season, right? I mean, we have Bear Jackson, Phoenix Open, Super Bowl. I mean, you name it, any kind of event the next couple of months ending up to spring training in April. It's the best time of the year, and we're I guess in the best of both worlds, at least if you like warm weather, right?
Right. Yeah, for sure. And I always told people, I said I was closer to the ocean in Arizona than I was when I lived in Dallas for a decade before that. I had to drive 4.5, 5 hours to get to the Gulf of Mexico, which was kind of crappy anyway, in the Galveston area. And then, I could be at the Sea of Cortez, in a few hours. I lived in Vail, southeast of Tucson. So I was a little closer, to
Nice.
the
Yeah, we have a project in Tucson, and that's maybe interesting for the listeners too. We don't dabble only in the luxury real estate side or the resale side, which is pretty much price point independent, but we have started to pivot and diversify into the multifamily space, and not on the luxury side, more on the affordable housing. So we do have a project in Tucson that we just refied 3 days ago, bought it a year ago. It's 18 units, did a major remodel. I mean, that property when we bought it was pretty much inhabitable. But those are the deals where we come in, any kind of value add opportunities. We just refinanced it literally like on the 30th. I think we closed on Friday, which was the 30th. So the last business day of the month, we end the year, we closed on the refinance, and also something that there's going to be a lot of opportunities in that kind of space where you look at deals that are too small for the big guys and too big for the small guys. You're like kind of in between, right? You're not dealing with duplexes or fourplexes, but you're also dealing with the 50, 60 plus unit buildings, right? So, interesting world that kind of takes us back a little bit to where we started as far as finish go. And we still now try, with the experience that we've got over the last couple of years, make it a very appealing, very functional. We look for a lot of value for the tenants in there to make it like a place that they just enjoy living. The remodel, we went overboard on everything, simply because we believe in having a good product, right? That has longevity and just like sustainable cash flow through great tenant base, great living experience.
Yeah, fantastic. What do you know the address or the area over in Tucson on that deal?
Yes, 1030 East Lee Street.
Lee Street?
Lee Street, yeah. We're right by the UFA and pretty close to the hospital.
Yeah, I know. I about have 100% bead in my mind where it's at. Yeah, there's a lot of opportunities in Tucson. People tend to overlook Tucson, but there's opportunities there for sure.
The price. I mean, it's obviously a different market even than Phoenix, but we have a very good good friend of ours and business partner that grew up there. I always call him the king of Tucson because there's nothing he doesn't know down there.
Right. That's what kind of town it is, though. Maximilian, everybody knows everybody.
The thing is, even in Scottsdale, which is, I mean, obviously a little bit, it's not as big as Phoenix, but I think anywhere, independent of the size or population size, if you're operating in an industry niche, whether it's real estate, non-real estate, it's just a matter of time, and the world just becomes very, very small, right? We already see that now across the state with Florida, and quite frankly, I had a call this morning with one of my investors. I mean, it's in Germany, and it's just interesting how close the circles are, and whether they know my parents, Patrick's parents, or I played golf with their son when I grew up. The world is a very, very small place, which, if you choose the right people around you and the partners, which I think we've accomplished that in the last years, it's a lot of fun, and we love what we do.
Yeah, that's fantastic. Yeah, if you can love what you do, you never work a day in your life, right? So funny.
It's funny whenever I hear that, I'm like, yeah, that sounds amazing, but man,
I work.
There's days where there's a lot of things that you still gotta do because you gotta do what you gotta do, and it's a pain. Yeah. But for the most part, especially at some point when you can be selective of what you do, right? Like I told you when we started a little bit later today, I was like, I'm happy because a client of mine called me, and we're about to put a pretty big deal here on the market in the next couple of weeks, and they just know that if you're passionate, if you operate in that high-end luxury space, you pretty much, you need to be 24/7, know your stuff, and you need to be on it, right? I don't know if that makes sense in English, but in German we say the air gets very thin up there, right? So the higher you go in price points and performance, the competition, although there's not a lot of agents competing for that, it just gets very tough, because I mean there's a lot of people here in town that have been around the block and been doing this for like 20 plus years. So for us to come in and to be able to select the clients and the projects outside of our own developments that we represent as if they were our own with the same passion, dedication, is something that is, that we feel very fortunate about. But that was good timing today because we got them. So
nice. So how would someone get in touch with you, Maximilian, if they were looking to list, buy, or maybe look at one of your developments?
Yeah, the easiest way is probably Instagram is one of the channels. Social media is obviously very present these days, and it's Max_MP88. That's my user there. Our website has a lot of our stuff. We specialize in a lot of off-market transactions too. So private inventory is a big thing. So it's maxandpatrick.com. Some of our projects are on there. Well, feel free to reach out to us directly. And then obviously my cell number is the fastest way to get in touch, even before email. So happy to help answer any questions. And even if it's just to give a second opinion, we handle our business in a very German manner. There's not a lot of filters, and we're pretty straight up. And we're numbers and diligence driven on that end. So happy to provide value wherever we can.
As crazy as it sounds, I would prefer a filterless conversation than someone that's worried about in business all day long.
I agree with you, and I do think there's obviously, I mean, a lot of times, whether it's on the investment side, that we talk ourselves or our investors out of deals, right? Or when it goes to selling, where we say, listen, I just to go on the market for that price in this environment, with that kind of product is just not going to do you any favor, right? And I'm hinting towards overshooting on the list price, then chasing down, right, in a market where obviously inventory is going up, and that's more like a general statement more than anything. But at the same time, understanding if the product allows, right, how to be able to push the price, get the best bang for the buck, because you just got to be very, very cautious right now, even on the luxury side.
For sure. Maximilian, thanks so much for being on the program today. I love the opportunity to get with you and Patrick at some point, maybe 3, 6, 9 months down the road, see how things are going. America One Luxury Real Estate, thank you so much for being on. Have a great rest of the year.
Perfect. You as well. Thank you so much for having me, and I'm looking forward to catching up soon.
See you.
See ya.